In the previous tutorial, we look at how you set up our interface, and we did this in a new created file, that is the model.go, in which we write the code. So if you haven't watched it, go and watch the previous video and you'll get to understand what is coming to go on in the video. So from here, what I'm going to do is I will head to user.go, and you can see I've written some code over here. Or this is just to connect to the database and run some code and out there. So over here we are just writing some queries which is we are going to use to see how everything goes. So for now, I'm going to give an SQL statement which is going to be equal to, and we use the backtick over there, and I'm going to just say insert into, and now we are going to insert into. And when we look at our database, when you look at our database structure, or let me go over here, all what we need is the first name, the last name, the password, and also the email. So these are the things that we need to insert in. But for the password, we will make some little changes on it, so that we know how it goes. So before we proceed to the password session, what we need to do is to get some credentials. And before that, because we need to hash our password, we don't want to bring in a plain text to our password hashing and so on. So what I can do is I can go to this terminal. And now I will use go get, and that is from golang.org/crypto/bcrypt. Crypto/bcrypt. So I'll just run the command, and I think my internet connection is weak here. So let me change the internet connection to one that is okay. Well, let me select that one. I think this one is a little bit stable. Okay, so I'll run a code again, and let's see how it goes. So it's downloading the crypto, and it will add it to our package. So before that, I'm going to create another struct. So type, and think it's going to be password like this. So this is password, and it's going to be struct, and then it's going to take two. That is the plain text, which is going to be string, and also the hash, which is also going to be string like this. So now I'll replace the password string over here to password. We're going to have this password. So let's come back to our SQL and finish writing the SQL before we try to hash the password and go on. So I'll go ahead, and again we are going to insert into email to be first, and the next one is first underscore name, and this need to match with your database. Let me search for this, and let's see how we name the database. So I'll just go here and search for pg admin 4, and while it's running, let's go ahead, and the next one is going to be last name, and we are going to have password. The rest are having default value, so we won't be wasting my time in. So value is going to be, and we will use a placement that is $1, that will replace the first one, and the next one is $2, and the next one is $3, and the next one is $4. Okay, so after this we want to return the user information, everything to the user, and you can see it contains some information that will not be added, and that is the ID, the created as the activated, and also the version. So with that, in Postgres you can use the returning keyword. So you just say returning, and we will return the ID, the created at the version, and also activated. Let me, okay, so it's still running. Let's wait for it to come. So let me collapse here so that we can see everything clearly over there. So like this, and again I'm going to get all those values attached, and I'm going to have an argument, and that is going to be an array of interface. And we're going to have all the value that we need. So the first dollar is the email, so that is going to be get from the user. So I'll use this at user dot, and I'm going to have the email. And the next one is the first name, so user dot first name, and user dot last name, and again user dot password dot hash. We are going to use the hash one, not the plain text. And with this query, we will be using getting a timeout of 3 seconds. So within 3 seconds, if it couldn't insert it, then you need to bring out a timeout thing. Or this thing is keeping too long. So okay, let's continue. So I'll have a context, and I'll have a cancel in which I will defer or cancel like this, and this is going to be equal to context dot with timeout, and it's going to be context dot background, and now the time is going to be 3 times time dot second. So that is 3 seconds, and I'm going to defer the cancel. So I'll defer the cancel function. So let me get out. Okay, still loading. So the next thing to do is to bring the code. What are we going to do? We are going to use here, and now we are going to make use of this model. So we get the dot db, the db function, and you can see this user model have this db. So that is what we are, and this db have the dot db dot, and here you will have query row content, and that is the one that we can have the scan, and it takes 2 arguments. That is the content, and the next one is going to be the query, and that is the SQL, and the next one is going to be the argument. So the arg like this and we point like this, but what we need to do is to use the scan function to scan the returning value into those variables and taking a pointer. So we are going to access it through the memory address using the scan. They can keeping too long. Why? So let me type my password and for it work. Okay, let me. So I'll go here in my database chart, my public, it is having some tables and the user table. Okay, we have first name, last name, and the password, and the created at version, and this one is active, not activate. So we need to make changes to that. So that is when we look at here, it is active. So we need to change it to active. And we will scan the first returning value is the ID. So we will get the user.id, and the next returning value is the created at. So we will access it through not a new instance but rather the pointer to it, and that is going to be user.created at. The next one is the version, so the same thing, and user.op.version, and the last one is going to be user.email. Nope, activated. So that is the value that does it. And now we are done with the query to insert something into the database. So then is how we can do all the. And now before we proceed, let's see how we will store our password. So in the game function over here, we are going to write two method on the password struct. So to write a method that is going to be, I'll call it P, and it's going to be password, and it's going to be a pointer to the password value, and we are going to call it get. So what are we going to get? We are going to get the password, and it's going to take a plain text like this, and it's going to be string. It's going to be string, and it's returning nothing. So what are we going to return? We are going to use the bcrypt. So bcrypt that we installed. So we're going to import the bcrypt over here, and this bcrypt we are going to use a function that is called, I think that is not compare. Go generate from password, and it take a byte of the password and a quote of it, and return the byte, which the byte is the hashed password. So that is going to be equal to or to, we need to convert it to byte. So it's a byte array. So we will have a byte array of the plain text. So you will just be plain text, and the next one is the quote, and you will put the quote at 12 over there. And big value, when you look at it, it returns byte and also the password. So we will have it to be the first one to be hash, and also the error to be the go. You can give it, take the error. So we will check if the error is not equal to nil, then here let's return error from here. So we are going to return error. We are going to return error and that error over there. And if it went on successfully, then the p dot hash is going to be equal to the hash, the hash we have here, and that is going to be stringified like this one, because in our database we set the password to be string, so we are going to take this and stringify the text, because since it is a byte, we cannot store a byte to a string, so we need to typecast it to a string. And then what we will return is nil. So we return nil for the password. And the next one is a function that we can use to check for the password whether it's matching or not. So it's going to be a method, the same method on the password function like this, and that is going to be matching. So going to be matching. And what we are going to do is to just bring in the password that we type and we compare it from the password that we have. So how are we going to do that? We are going to do that by just saying here we just want a plain text like that. So we want a plain text like that, and it's going to be a string, and then one is going to return either boolean and error like this. So what are we going to do? We are going to use the same bcrypt, and now we will compare hash and password. Go first take the hashed password, go use p to access the hash password, and that is going to be a string, so we will turn that into bytes. And the next value that it takes is the password, and that is also going to be a byte array, and that so byte, and we are going to use the plain text. What you can see, it takes the hash password and the password that we want, and what this returns is an error. So we will just say if we will store this in an error variable like this, and we will check if error is not equal to nil, then we are going to return 4 here. That means we couldn't verify it, and the error over here. And if it's nothing, no error happens, then we can check whether it's matching or not. So if it doesn't match, it's going to return an error. For the hash password, compare a bcrypt hashed password with a possible plain text equivalent. Returns nil on stacking and an error on failure. So if it's able, it will return the error. That's going to be false. Otherwise, we are going to return true and nil for the error like this. Nil for the error like this. So that is the two functions we are going to write over here. So let's head on to our, and I think like that, are we having an error? Oh, this hash is not used. We didn't use the hash. No. Okay. So let's head on to the user in our EMD and API folder, and now let's proceed. So here we check for an error. We check for an error in which we are just echoing a certain error. We are just writing error. We will make a good use of any logger info that we have. So we don't need to waste a lot of time. So we are going to go straight to hash the password and insert it in our database as we all wanted. Well, how are we going to do this? First of all, we check for an error, and if there is if there is error, then I'm going to return from here. I'm not going to proceed in it. And now I'm going to check for something. This video will be becoming long, so I'll pause here and continue in the next so that we won't be making a very long thing. It was going this video. What we did was to write the password function cannot for the SQL. Or in the next tutorial, which probably I'll be putting it today, we'll be looking into how we are going to validate our user out here and also insert it in the database as we want it. So stay tuned, subscribe so you don't make the next tutorial, and thank you for watching.